Hey, what's up, everybody? Steven here, the Horror Freak 85, back after a long break here. Finally on the House of Horrors podcast return, and we'll be kicking off the return of the show with Jessa Jupiter Flux. She'll be here momentarily, and we'll get the show on the road. So I figured I'd go ahead and get going and get people in here. And if you have any questions, have them ready, and she'll be happy to answer. And we're just all going to have a good time tonight. So looks like Rob's Vintage was in here. So hello to you, and thanks for stopping by. All right. So not much been going on. I've just been working, movie marathoning, watching TV shows, and finally starting the show back up. So I'm back. It's been busy. I work at Value Pawn and Jewelry, a pawn shop, and I've been working full time and haven't had much time for anything else. But I enjoy doing this and trying to get back on the road there. So it's been going good. So hopefully keep on going here. Let's see. What else has been going on? Da, da, da. Let's see. Welcome to whoever's here. All right, and has arrived.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. So how was your day? I guess you were tied up at a shoot, I heard.
Yeah, we had a photo shoot and we had like a certain time amount that we were allowed to have, but the studio let us have longer and we just weren't keeping up.
All right. So what's the shoot for that you were doing tonight?
Like for my OnlyFans.
Okay. Yeah. How long have you been doing that now? I forget.
Since 2020.
2020. All right. So yeah, you got a lot going on between acting, running the page there, so been keeping busy. Like you do a movie like what, every month or something?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I hope this isn't cutting out. I was saying that you keep pretty busy, do like a movie a month, I guess.
Oh, more than that this year.
Yeah. Let's see. We got some people in here. Mr. Bones is saying hello.
Hello, Mr. Bones.
And Patrick Have Cheetah Will View is here. I'll put up any questions that they have on.
Okay.
I don't know why it keeps cutting out here. Is it cutting out on your end, or is that me?
A little bit, but it's not bad.
Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. And it might be my Wi-Fi. I don't know, because it was doing that like months before on my other computer, and I thought maybe it was the computer itself, but it might just be the Wi-Fi. Oh, Mr. Bones already has a question. He's saying, what's your favorite movie that you've done so far?
My favorite movie that I've done is Deadly Dealings. It's kind of like it's kind of like a Pet Cemetery except with like people. But
so
it's really cool. I play a therapist in that one, and like that was kind of like a dream come true. Since then, I've played a therapist again in Fatal Desires just recently, and that should be out by the end of the year.
Okay. Who directed that one?
Which one?
The Fatal Desires. Was that Sean Donahue was doing
that? Yeah, that was Sean Donahue.
Okay, I couldn't remember if that was him or not. I remember, I thought it was him doing the promotion for that or talking about it. So speaking of him, like Steve Donahue, Donald Farmer, who else have you worked with here? Angel Bradford, her first time in Night of the Dead Sorority Babes. Saying that correctly. Yeah. So how was that working with her? Because I know you've acted with her in like many other movies as well. How was it being directed by her?
Really no different. I mean, like she just has, as a director, it's like a learning experience because it's a totally different job than being an actor, but as an actor, you kind of get ideas of how you might direct people because of just the way that you're directed, and you know what you respond to, like better or worse. And so I think she had like a unique perspective, you know, coming from being an actress.
Do you think you would want to direct anything yourself, or just stay in front of the camera?
For sure. Yeah, I would love to. It's just that right now, with the schedule that I have, like acting, there's just no way that I'd be able to like put all, because making a movie is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And just to, you know, do the crowdfunding in itself is a whole job, like on its own. And then, you know, like getting like the different locations, and then actually showing up and like teach, or you know, like instructing people on how to be for your vision. It's just like, it's a lot to do. So I feel like if I ever made a movie, it would have to be like whenever my career like really slows down, and then I would take like a whole year just to make that movie, you know.
Yep. So let's see, we got Glam Reaper in here, the queen of indie horror. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, hello, my girlfriend watching from the Philippines.
Oh, cool. Hi, Daphne.
So, yep, you're famous around the world.
That's so cool.
Let's see. We got another question. Jess, are you surprised by how fast of a star you are as rising star?
No, because I because I work really hard at it. So, you know, it was whenever I first started, I didn't know that I would get a chance to act again, because the first movie that I really tackled was Cannibal Hookers, and it was like a remake of the one that Donald Farmer made in 1988. And so when he contacted me, I thought maybe he had seen me in a movie that I was in with Alice Winkler. It's Space Babes from Outer Space, and I just had the tiniest part. So I thought maybe he had seen that and then just got interested in me because of that. But no, actually, he just added me on Facebook and thought maybe I'd be an okay actress. So he asked me to be in Cannibal Hookers. But after I got on set and like experienced that, it was so fun that I was like, I can't wait to possibly do this again. And once that movie finally came out, because we first started filming it in 2017. And then we didn't get back to it. We did like an additional scene because it wasn't long enough in 2020, right before it actually came out. And from there, I didn't realize how many people knew who Donald Farmer was and like respected him, followed his work and everything. So I got a lot of offers as soon as that movie came out. But since then, I've really sought people out. So like if I see like someone's working with somebody and I check out their work, like, you know, like either buy a copy or stream it or whatever, and it seems cool, like it seems like a quality product. I also like non-quality products, to be honest with you. But you know, if it seems like I might have fun working with them, then I'll reach out to them. So like I'm very like proactive in working to get my name out there and just to work with as many people as I possibly can. So I not really like, I feel, I don't know, I'm probably very lucky, but at the same time, like there's a lot of work behind the scenes of me, like just trying to talk to as many people as I can, seeing what their next projects are, seeing if they're looking for anybody, you know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back a little bit. When you were growing up, where did you grow up, and were you always into acting, or just something someone suggested, or that's what you wanted to do?
Well, I grew up in Evansville, Indiana, and I still live there. I've lived in other places though, but yes, I wanted to be an actor whenever I was growing up, but I'm very shy. So it was just a matter of like going to these casting calls and not being able to like speak at all. Like it was pretty embarrassing. But you know, I got involved in theater through singing and dancing. So I did a lot of like chorus and show choir. And then also like I was a trained dancer all growing up. And then I went to college for dance, as a matter of fact. So that was ways that I could like get in front of an audience without having to speak. And then that kind of opened me up to the possibility of doing more. And then once I finally did my first couple of acting roles, I was just like, what was I so afraid of? You know, like I didn't, like now I almost miss getting really nervous whenever I get on set, because like that drives you to have like a certain sort of energy in your scenes. So a lot of times, like I'll go into a room by myself and just jump up and down until like my heart starts racing, like as if I'm nervous, because like I really, really like to have the nerves, but I don't, like, I'm so not nervous now. But yeah, so I always wanted to be an actor, but it was just, you know, I was so shy.
Mm-hmm. So I guess you said you're still taking acting classes, and I guess that's what you would recommend for people who want to get into the business?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, definitely any kind of classes that you can take to learn different techniques and ways of being in front of the camera or on stage is always good. But I do read a lot of books as well. Like I'm always reading like 3 acting books at a time. But so I don't like take one specific technique. I just take from different ones and see what works for me. And now I sort of have my own, like, you know, worked out technique, but I like to learn how other people do things. So that's always interesting. But I think the best way to get involved in any sort of like acting is just to do it. Like, you know, get into a movie. There's always people that are like being creative, and there's usually people in your area. I mean, I live in Evansville, Indiana, and I've only done 2 projects there, and it was by the same person, Vivica Darko. And that was Please Don't Make Me 2, and then Viv's Tide Tales. And I'm about to do Please Don't Make Me 3, Cult of Viv. We're actually filming my first scene next Sunday. But there's usually people that are just trying to put together a project and just get in with those people and see like if you can be a part of it, like even a small part, like, because like I said, like whenever I did Cannibal Hookers, it wasn't, I guess I'm like the star technically, but like I don't really say very much. Like I'm like the queen hooker that all the other hookers bring, you know, their johns to so we can eat them, you know. But like I didn't really have a lot to say, and it just having that small part, even though it's not small, I guess, it just really opened me up to being able to tackle bigger and like harder projects. So I think like the sooner that you can get in and just do anything in front of a camera, the better.
What got you into horror?
Well, I've always liked horror growing up. I really wanted to be a horror writer whenever I grew up because of all of like the paperback novels that were, you know, scary. Like everybody was reading Goosebumps and stuff like that. So when I first got into that, I was just like, I started writing my own horror stories. And actually, like my teacher called my mom like in 5th grade and was like, "What's wrong with your daughter?" Because I was writing some pretty brutal stuff. But yeah, like I was fascinated with being terrified, I guess. And you know, I just really wanted to do that. And then as soon as I had the opportunity to combine sort of my interest with that with acting, I was like, this is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Do you hope to maybe turn one of your stories into a script one day?
Possibly. Yeah, I always have ideas, but I don't do a lot of writing anymore. So if I ever get a chance to actually sit down for longer than an hour, you know what I mean? I can actually like sit down and like focus on writing a script, then yes, definitely. Like I have a lot of ideas all the time, but I usually just give them to other people. I'm just like, here's an idea, like you can do what you want with it, like you know, whatever. But I have constantly different ideas going through my mind.
Yeah. Have TW was asking, have you been concerned with any typecasting?
Yes. Yes, I have. But the weird thing is like what I was first typecast as, like, well, first I was in Cannibal Hookers, you know, that's like the first like real role I had. That was pretty serious actually, even though it's a goofy idea. It was like a serious role. But then after that, I started getting cast in a lot of like bimbo type roles where I'm just like that hot girl that either gets killed immediately because she's fucking everybody, or like you know, like I would be just like this silly like ditzy kind of blonde or whatever. And I actually really like playing those roles, to be honest with you, because like it's totally not who I am as a person. So it's kind of fun to like explore that. But for a while there, I was not doing any more parts where I would have to play a sex worker, because I was playing a lot of strippers, hookers, like, and it's just because I think that people will gravitate to somebody that has a job like that. Like, you know, I do OnlyFans and I dance at a bar and all of that. So it's like I'm very comfortable with my body. So they would go for somebody that is going to be comfortable showing themselves. But I kind of backed off from that last year. I stopped taking any roles like that. But you know, there's Anora came out, and I was like, well, seems like they're doing really good with that. Maybe I'll take some sex role parts again. But yes, I was a little bit worried about it at first, but now I'm actually, you know, I think because I put pause on that, taking those types of parts, I've been opened up to a whole world of like other different kinds of parts. And now people can see that like I actually can tackle all kinds of different roles. So I don't really feel that way now. But in the beginning, yes, I did kind of worry about it.
I'm sorry, I forget what it's called, but I did see the clip on YouTube. I'm not sure if it was a short film, but I guess you were like in a relationship, someone was cheating, and you were like, oh, because I'm dressed down. You know, it was a pretty dramatic scene between you and your acting partner. I forget what it was called.
Yes, I'm trying to think of what that was called too.
He like cheated on you or whatever, or because you didn't look pretty enough, supposedly. And
yeah, so in the like role, I was playing a person that got really depressed, and you know, when you're depressed, you don't really keep up with your hygiene, and I know I don't. Like I don't like keep up with like keeping my hair brushed and everything. So it was like I definitely had experience with that like in my real life. But yeah, that was a really fun part, and honestly it was really challenging. It ended up being really fun and kind of goofy towards the end, but like in the beginning it was very serious, and I don't know why I can't think of the title of that right now, but this happens to me all the time. I'm always talking about like an experience I had on a set, and then I can't ever think of like the movie title. Because I've honestly like I've done 60 parts now. I've done 60 movies, so it's a lot.
Yeah, I was just about thinking of bringing it up on IMDb. I see there's a lot of stuff that's coming out. One I'm looking forward to is definitely OnlyFans. Can you tell us a little about your character in that?
Yeah, it's not going to be what you expect. Like I really like that they chose me to play a part where it's a little bit different than what I normally do. So I play like a very boyish girl who is a photographer, and she also works like a kind of like blue collar job, and so she gets pulled into these vampire girls, and they're just like, you know, why are you working your ass off and not making like you're not getting ahead when you can do sex work, basically. So it's like very like feminist, the whole movie is, but it's also really funny and goofy too. But my character Gwen is, I don't think what people are going to expect at all. And at first that kind of made me a little bit nervous, but you know, seeing some of the footage and stuff, I think people are really going to like it.
Yeah, so from like the little clips and trailers, it looks like it's going to be really interesting. So definitely.
Oh yeah, I think you know, I think it's gonna be. I think people are gonna like it. You know, it's by the same people that did Murder Size, but I think people are gonna like it even better. Like I think that Murder Size is very stylized. It had like a very certain aesthetic, but OnlyFans is not only beautifully shot, but it's amazing, and it's a journey all the way through. So I think people are really gonna like it.
Mm-hmm. So in Murder Size, how was it? I always enjoy when like characters like play something within it, like you play an actress in it in a horror movie, and of course it's like over the top to be silly. How is it to like kind of make fun of yourself as an actress?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. And as a matter of fact, when they asked me to do the part, they were like, you know, it's a really small part, and they were like selling it to me. Like they were like, you know, we understand if you don't want to do it. And I don't think that they realize like how goofy I can be. And so like when I got there, like I went off the rails. So like the scene that everybody remembers, where I'm telling the crew guy to look at my tits.
And he's like, nope. All I care about is that big, beautiful sag or whatever union.
Yeah, he wanted to be SAG. So I basically was like, I can do it as written, and then I'd like to like go off book and like sort of like get really wild with it. And they're like, sure, yeah. So we recorded it both ways, and they ended up using a lot of what I just like ad-libbed in their final cut. And I think that they might have like an extended scene on the Blu-ray. I think that's what people have told me, but I've never actually looked at the special features on the Blu-ray, even though I obviously have copies of it because I sell them, and also like I keep copies of my own movies. But I've never really got on the extra stuff and really seen it. But it ended up that like me and Drew were like actually like crying because I was like, why won't you look at my tits? And he's like, I just can't. And it was just like, it got really silly. It was just really fun. And everybody was coming in from the other room and like staring at us while we were doing this. And I just felt like really supported in that environment. Like everybody on that set was really, really kind. And, you know, I don't know if people expect that whenever there's like a bunch of hot girls in a room, you know, it's going to be like a bunch of different kind of personalities, but I felt very supported, and I really, you know, keep in touch with like everybody that I was acting with on that project. And everybody's so super talented in all kinds of different ways that worked on that. So I felt inspired by everybody. You know, I felt inspired by Kansas. I felt inspired by Nina. Like everybody was so good in their own different ways. Like it was super fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a good supporting cast. It looks like it would have been a good time to be there for sure.
It was hot though. So we shot that like in an office building that was like empty. And so we couldn't, it was in like a heat wave, during a heat wave in the summer in that area. And it was like the hottest it had been like in like 50 years or something. And we couldn't turn on the air conditioner because the sound, you don't want that sound in the background whenever you're filming. So at one point I was like, I have to sit down. Like I was like lightheaded. But I don't even hardly like remember that. Like it was just so fun that we were having such a good time that it didn't really matter.
So since you were saying you did a lot of your ad-libbing in that scene, when Kansas came and everything and said about, I paid for these and somebody's going to look at them, was that written or did you make that up?
I honestly don't remember at this point because like it's like it blurred. Like it was, I think that maybe I ad-libbed that, but I have no idea, honestly. Like I don't even, like that's been so long ago now, it's hard to recall. But yeah, I just know that it was not exactly written like that. It was more like it wasn't really that I was throwing a fit so much in the actual script. It was more that like I was coming on to this guy and he was turning me down, and it was like, you know, I was just like a little like miffed or whatever. And then, you know, Kansas comes into the room and she's like, what the hell is your problem? But no, it was definitely like we took it a lot farther than what was in the script. But I don't know if that actual line, I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest.
That's all right. Also, I know some of the movies you work makeup on that. What got you into that?
Well, I went to school for cosmetology around this time that I got started in acting. It was 2017. And then after that, I realized that I totally did not want to do that. Like, it's a lot of hard work being on your feet, like, 8 hours a day. And it's, I did work in 2 salons after I got my, my licensing for that. And it's just like, it's really hard to do like color services that that take 3-4 hours, because you have to do like a base color, then you have to do a highlight, and then you have to do like, like a tone on top of that. And it's like so many processes, and each process, once it's on the head, takes like 45 minutes to process. So, people get really upset and they're like mad that they've been sitting in like the chair so long, but it's like, I don't know. It really, you have to be like a certain sort of like one-on-one entertainer to get that kind of clientele to come back. And I hated it. Like, I really didn't like it. But so after I went for cosmetology, I went back for aesthetics. And aesthetics is more, you learn makeup and cosmetology, but you learn more of it and more in depth with aesthetics. And it's a lot of skincare and stuff, which is something that always has interested me. But yeah, no, I actually went to school for cosmetology, aesthetics, and then I went to school for massage therapy. And I don't do any of those. But you know, I don't regret it in the slightest. Like, I really enjoyed it. I like hairstyling. So like whenever I'm on set and, you know, I have like an opportunity to make some extra money and do hair and makeup or something, it's like I already have the skills. I already know how to do it. And it's like not like a hair color process, which takes forever, or like hair cutting, which is like, depending on what people want, can be overly difficult, you know, to like figure out and then make sure it's like even and everything. So I don't mind. I like doing makeup and hair on set. So anytime I have like an opportunity, and also honestly, my rate for doing hair and makeup on a set is higher than my acting rate, because like I have to use my products and everything to do it. So it's pretty good money, and I don't like, it's like the only job that I don't like freak out about doing. Like whenever I'm learning like a script and I have to memorize all these lines and stuff, like I'm freaking out like the whole month before we film. Like I'm like preparing, I'm like trying it 1.5 million different ways. Like, how am I going to deliver these lines? You know what I mean? But whenever I get on set and I'm just doing hair and makeup, it's like, you can be like, just kind of on the fly decide, you know, how you're going to do their makeup and hair. I mean, if it's consistent, like I have to do their hair and makeup exactly how I did the day before, that's kind of different. But like, that's actually not that bad because you've already gone through it. So it's like pretty easy. So it's like the only job that I don't freak out about doing. I really enjoy it.
And already on set, might as well do a double there. That's worth
it. For sure.
So another question about the death scenes. You've died in many different ways. Is there a favorite, and is there a way that you would like to be killed?
Let me think. I can't recall, you know, honestly, like once I do a role, I don't remember a lot about it. I really don't. Like, you know, I can watch it and I'm like always surprised, like, oh, I did that. Like, I don't even remember, because it's like you love it and you let it go. But I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know, like, if I would pick to die a certain way or anything like that. I prefer to not die in movies and to be like the final girl, to be honest. But, you know, different. It's I don't know. It's fun faking death, because death is so scary. So it's like, you know, you're playing God basically, and seeing like, you know, how you would react in a situation like that, you know, freaking out. But I don't know. I can't think of any specific way that I would choose to die in a movie. Maybe split up the middle.
Yeah, like a Terrifier sawed in half.
Yeah, like but I'm thinking more like how like they would always do that like in the old 60s Batmans. Okay. There would always be like someone tied up and like this like saw going through them.
Oh, like the pendulum or whatever going down cross.
Yeah.
The pit and the pendulum. What attracts you to a script most, and when you what's your process in memorizing the lines and getting into that character?
Oh, there's a lot to it. So whenever I read a script, I'm particular about like how a woman is represented. So if I feel like it really is too stereotypical of a certain, like, for the reason I didn't do the sex workers parts for a long time, is I felt like sometimes they weren't represented very well as like a fully fleshed out character. It was more just one note, and it was very like stereotypical a lot of times. And so I didn't like that. So I try to like not be a part of parts like that. But then also, like whenever I'm learning my lines, I write them down 3 times. I read the script several times, and then I write them down. I rewrite them in a notebook. and I have like all these, I save them all and I write them out, like what my lines are. And then I kind of like, I change the notes as far as like the stage direction. So I kind of like put my own spin on that. So it like feels natural to me. And so, and I also don't want to write a whole lot. So I kind of like, I abbreviated a bit. And so I write that out, and then I write out all of my lines by themselves without like the responding lines after that. And then I also write them out on note cards, and then I put like my line on the front of the card, and on the back of the card it's everybody's lines leading up to my next line, which will be on the next card. And that way I can just flip through them. And I also put them on a ring, and then I take them on set, so I don't have to have a whole script, because that's kind of like cumbersome to have a whole script that you're taking around on set the whole time. I don't personally prefer that. And so, and also writing them out helps to memorize them. And then I do different things to develop the character. I write like fan fiction for every character that I do, if I have the time, because like I said, this year I've been doing a lot of movies like every weekend pretty much. Like it's been insane. But like if I have the time, I'll write out like what their childhood was like, why they are looking for what they're looking for in the script, or why they like I always talk about like what kind of people they date. Like I write out all this stuff, and then I go by page in my notebook, and I will summarize like whatever is going on that specific page. Like what are they trying to do? Like what are they trying to achieve on this page? And then I'll kind of put some keywords, and then I'll compare it to something that like has happened in my real life. So I can draw from those emotions or those feelings for that specific page. And I do that to every page. So I do a lot. It's kind of dorky, really.
I was gonna say, you did mention how you could relate it a certain character to your life. Obviously not every character, but is there any character that like you could relate to the most?
Probably Gwen in OnlyFans. Honestly, like the character is a lot like who I really am. So it's kind of because she's like a tomboy, and you know she's just got like a certain way about her. So whenever they presented this to me, I was a little nervous about like putting myself out there, because it's like it's very much like who I am in real life. So I don't know, it made me very nervous at first, but now, you know, like I said, I've seen some of the footage and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. Like it's kind of neat, you know. But yeah, like that character I really identify with. But I think that there's not a character that I've done that I can't find something that I identify with. Honestly, if there were a character that I couldn't identify with, that would make me want to do it more, because I would want to like find the common ground between me and that character, like you do in real life when you meet new people.
Got a question. What acting peers impress you the most?
Well, do you mean like the ones that I work with on a regular basis, or do you mean like ones that I haven't been able to work with yet?
Maybe both. I don't know.
Okay, so let's do both. Well, I'm inspired by everybody that I work with. I think that everybody is so talented in so many different sorts of ways. You know what I mean? Like there's certain people, their body, like the language that they express through their body. Like Sushi Savette is like so graceful, like the way she moves in her roles it's so beautiful. And when I first worked with her, I asked her, I was like, did you do ballet growing up? Because the way she moves is so, I mean, it's very sexy, but it's also very, very graceful. And she said no. I was really shocked, because I grew up doing dance, so I usually can like tell it in people. And then there's other people that are just very good at like emoting, like they can emote really easily. And then there's like certain people that can just memorize like a page of dialogue really quickly. And I'm like, how do you do that? Like, what is your process? So like everybody that I work with, I'm always like asking them a million questions. I'm probably getting on their nerves, honestly, like asking them like how they do this or that. But you know, Angel is a really huge inspiration to me. I think she's such a natural talent. And, you know, from the first time that we worked together, it was on Slumber Party, Slaughter Party 2. And just some of the ways that she went about things, I asked her, I was like, did you do theater growing up? Because I thought for sure she had, because of all the like the practices that she had done, like whenever we were like on set. And she said, no, you know, she just kind of got into it because she won a makeup category like for special effects at a convention, and that's how she got introduced into the scene and started acting and everything. But no, I just, there's so many people that like I work with that I find so interesting and so inspiring in so many different ways that like I feel like everybody I work with I learn something from.
Since you said Angel made that connections at conventions, when you go to certain conventions, how is it meeting other actors and directors? Has that helped?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So anytime I have an opportunity to be at a convention, if I have the time, then I do it, because there's a lot of people that are showing their movies. Like every convention, most conventions have like a film festival attached to it. So there's a lot of, you know, like directors and stuff that are coming through there just to show their work and to get like feedback on it and to enter it into contests and all of that. So I make a lot of connections through doing conventions where, or I'll meet like an actor that I haven't got a chance to work with yet, but we follow each other on socials. And then, you know, once you kind of know people that are doing the same thing as you, like you share opportunities with each other. So yes, I like doing conventions really helps me to get my name out there. And also it helps you to connect with your fans in a different kind of way than you can online. I actually prefer it. Like online, there's no way I can answer like all of my messages, for example. Like I don't even try. Like I can't. So like, I mean, like for, you know, the only messages I answer are paid ones on OnlyFans. But like, you know, other than that, like there's no possible way. Like it would be a full time, it'd be like 3 people's jobs to like answer all the messages I get. So I can't really connect with people in the way that I want to. But whenever people come up to me at a convention or something and I'm selling like my movies or, you know, stickers or, you know, whatever I have to sell, you know, you have like a one-on-one experience that is like, you can really leave like a good taste in somebody's mouth for like, you know, how you're connecting with them and how you respect them and you respect the money that they're spending on you. And, you know, just to show that you're very grateful for their support, I think really helps people to keeping up with whatever you're working on. You know, it makes them want to continue to follow you. But I have had an experience where a guy thought he thought I was being kind of bitchy at a convention once. I don't know what the situation was, honestly, but he saw me again and he was like, yeah, the last time I saw you, you were kind of short with me. And he was like, I was just trying to buy a movie. And I was like, oh, well, I don't even know what that situation could have been. I was probably hungry or something. And I was probably just trying to like, you know, get up from the table and go and get something to eat or something. But I apologize, you know, and I think that, you know, once I saw him again and like I interacted with him on a second time, hopefully, you know, he felt a lot better about the interaction. But I mean, there's always that situation too. Like I hear a lot of people that are like directors or makeup artists or other actors on all levels, like on the level that I'm on and also like Hollywood levels, where people have bad experiences with them and then they tell other people, and you really don't want that. Like you want to have a good experience with everybody that is coming to your table and even just trying to interact with you. You know what I mean? Whether they buy something or not, but I do prefer that they buy something if they're going to be hanging around the table. But yeah, I mean, like it's a great way to make new fans too. Like, cause a lot of people will just come up to my table and just, you know, just to see what I'm selling. You know, I probably come off as somebody that's just selling a bunch of different kinds of movies. Like I could be like somebody that's working for like a certain releasing company or something. And, you know, people come up to me and they hear that I'm an actress and I talk to them a little bit about my work, and I make so many new fans just by doing conventions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because people walking by, they might see, well, let's say Murder Size or Shingles even or whatever.
Yeah.
So
and then you have a chance to like kind of like talk about the project and what is cool about it. You know what I mean? More so than like if they're just like scanning Tubi or Amazon Prime or something and they see something, it's like there's not somebody there like telling you like what's cool about it. You just like go off with like the artwork pretty much on the cover. A lot of people don't even read descriptions, so it's kind of like an opportunity to be like, so what kind of horror are you into? Because I do a lot of horror conventions, so obviously they're there because they like scary movies. So I can ask them like, you know, do you like slashers? Do you like more like like psychological horror or whatever it happens to be, you know what I mean? Like, and then you can kind of like offer them like, well, this thing kind of falls into that category. You should check this movie out or whatever. And so, yeah, I think I make a lot of new fans by doing conventions.
Speaking of the different categories of movies you do, whether supernatural, demons, slashers, do you have a favorite out of those?
Well, my favorite kind of scary movies myself are supernatural. Like I like ghosts, I like curses, I like anything that's like sort of like witchy or like anything like that. Like I really like that kind of stuff myself. But I do a lot of slashers. I would like to do more of the supernatural stuff. I would love to play like a ghost. Like I think that would be really cool. Like somebody that's like haunting like a property or something. That would be so cool. And to like show the background of like how I came to haunt that property or whatever it happens to be, you know, like The Others. I love that movie. Like anything like that would be super fun.
All right. Oh, that's nice. Patrick Avcita Wilbu, he posted your IMDb page so people can check it out.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's so much on there. I haven't even gone through it all. I mean, we'd be on here for so long talking about every single one.
Well, and the other thing is not everything is listed. A lot of projects that I do, they're on such a small scale that they don't really add their information to IMDb, you know, but whether it's on there or not, it doesn't really matter because like I learn something different from each project that I do and it all adds to, you know, me having more experience and being better on camera. So,
and I did see recently they did a little clip. I don't know if you posted it or someone else did, but Amityville Barbie did a clip of that and to date the zombie. I wouldn't swipe on that.
Yeah, no, that is a really fun project. We have not finished it yet. We've just really done a handful of scenes for it. I've done the opening, which that's not all released yet. I think what they're going to do is make what they have already into like a small, like a short film. And they're going to take it and they're going to shop it around the film festivals so that they can get more attention and then raise more money to do the final project. Because it's like something that like the way that it's edited and everything, there's a lot of special effects. And like it's stuff that's done, you know, post-production, and it takes a lot of time and money. So I'm really looking forward to finishing that. And like, so if anybody wants to give us money, if you go to jessadoesitall.com, you can definitely give us money to finish Amityville Barbie. But that was so cool. That's probably the best experience I've had on a set ever.
And then let's see what else was filming here. Let's see. Death Woods is in post-production. Death Bike is still filming. But did you do your part in that already?
Yes, yeah.
Let's see. Nuns versus Sharks coming out soon. Screw Year's Eve. So all this, I don't know. I'm on the IMDb Pro. I don't know if it's listed on regular IMDb or not. But
it should be.
Let's see. I started to say Scream Queen's Weenie Roast.
Yeah.
What's that about? If you can give us a little tease about that.
Okay, so it is about there's a competition and there is, I believe, a director that is putting on the competition, and then the modern day Scream Queens they have to collect weenies from their fans. And the one who collects the most weenies wins. But like some people are going about it like they're being aggressive and like chopping off of people's wieners without their permission. And then like my character is more like, no, just, you know, if you want to give of yourself, then please do, you know. So it's like, it's really goofy and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it.
Nice. Let's see. There was a question here. This is funny. Is it important to have a good craft table during a shoot?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, like I've been at shoots where, they just have very basic stuff. And honestly, I don't eat a lot of snacks on set because I'm so busy and I'm so focused. So I don't really eat a lot of the crafty. And I just basically eat my one meal that they provide usually a day. And then they provide crafty like along with that. But yeah, like if the one meal a day is the same thing every single day. Like I did a project once where they just kept ordering, I think it was Papa John's pizza, but the place that we were ordering it from was absolutely terrible. Like every time they brought it, it was like the pizza had been sitting out all night or something, but it obviously wasn't because we were ordering specific things. But it seemed burnt. It was so bad. But yeah, I definitely think it like helps to raise morale whenever the food's good.
Yeah. Hobbs wants to know if you collect physical media and do you have a favorite time of the year. Most of ours here in the chat is Halloween. We like to do ghouls and ghosts on the spooky month.
Yeah, so Halloween is my favorite, obviously. I like to dress up. What was the first question?
Do you collect physical media?
Yes, I always have. And I still have a lot of movies that I collected from childhood that like they just follow me everywhere I go. I think it's really cool. It makes you really value something differently when you actually own it as opposed to streaming it. I don't, when people like come up to me at conventions and they say they don't have like a Blu-ray player, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, well, why wouldn't you have a Blu-ray player? Like do you not enjoy movies? Like I don't get it. But yeah, so like even whenever you're streaming something, a lot of times if I really like something, I'll purchase it even as like, a non-physical copy so I can watch it anytime, like on Amazon Prime or whatever. So even with that, like it's like you really value something more when you actually own it. And especially if it's tangible and you can hold it in your hands, like I think you really respect the thing more, and you oftentimes watch it more times than just once, than just streaming something one time.
Right. Plus all the bonus features and everything. I mean, that's what's great about having an actual Blu-ray or 4K or whatever.
That's so true. Yeah.
Because you don't get that on Prime or anything like that.
No, you don't.
Let's see. Make sure I didn't skip over any other questions. If I did, I'm sorry. Oh, that's funny. Echo, he was saying, I guess because mentioned zombie, he's like, did someone say the magic word zombie? He's in. Or zombie. Zombie? I mean zombie. I don't know if that's something, if that's a reference to something or not, maybe. Zombie. I mean zombie.
I don't know.
Is that from a movie or something, Echo? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's funny there. How was it working with Steve Radinsky on Shingles, being the alien, like trying to learn English or being all serious? Was there a lot of improv or bloopers on that?
Well, my scene partner was brilliant, and he had this idea that, they presented it to me. Basically what he was doing is he was reading each word like as if he was like from a different area of the country or had a different accent. So nothing ever matched up. And so whenever I saw him doing that, I kind of I wrote out like, okay, so I'm going to say this word as a Valley girl. And then I'm going to say this as like a politician. And then I was like going through, and I was basically like really inspired by what he was doing. And I didn't think I did it nearly as good as he did, but like the final product, whenever I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, it reads, it's pretty good. But no, that was really, really fun. And I love working with Steve because he is so organized. Like out of all the people that I work with, he keeps the shooting days short. So honestly, whenever the shooting day is short, it's so much less pressure to like memorize, because you can just review what you're doing that day. If it's just a couple of pages that you're covering, then it's not like a lot of pressure than to like a lot of times I get hired. And because like my day rate is, it's like double, triple what a lot of people charge. So they try to like they shoot everything, all of my scenes, try to do it like in a couple of days, and I hate that because it's so much pressure for us to shoot so many different angles and shots and pages and scenes all in a day, you know what I mean? So it's like it's a lot of work to memorize like 10 pages. You're gonna do 10 pages in a day. Like Steve Rosinski never does that to me. Like he's always like, we have like short shoot days. It's only covering a little bit of material, and I feel so much more prepared because he does it that way. So I love working with him. You know, if somebody wants to shoot me and they want to like shoot like half of the damn script or something like in 2 days, I do it, but like I would much rather them like space it out, like, you know, Steve does and some other people do. But either way, I'm probably gonna, if I like the part, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna just accept the challenge.
Right. Yeah. And you also worked with him on Curtains for Christmas. Were those the only 2 films you did with him, or were there any others?
There's also Carousel 3. I have a small part in that, and that was really fun. That was really silly.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now at the party or whatever it was.
Yes, right? I'm making love to a like a carousel bunny rabbit.
Yeah, the bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
That's interesting how Steve does that, how he has the unicorn scenes and stuff. How is it doing scenes with inanimate objects like that? Like even in Shingles, the witch and the gnome, like what's going through your mind? I mean, obviously you don't mind doing it, finding it silly, but
it's just a lot of fun. It's very silly and just coming up with like, well, what kind of position am I going to do with this gnome or this, you know, bunny rabbit from the carousel or whatever, and like coming up with that and just like trying it is so silly, and we always have such a good time. So any kind of weird ideas that he has, I'm always for it. I'm always down.
It is kind of funny doing stuff with inanimate objects. Random story at a convention, they had like a William it was a William Shatner blow up doll, and like it was a Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they were like saying, hey, do something funny, you know, with it. So I was thinking, like, well, he's the captain. So I was like, who's the captain now, bitch? And like acting like I was it. And like everyone was laughing and they thought I was the best one, and they were like gonna pick. And then this other guy, he got all like, it was so dumb. He threw it on the stage and he actually jumped on it, like flattened it. It didn't say anything funny, and he won the prize for it. I'm thinking, come on, you're not even being funny about it. Like, but hey, that's how it is, though. So, what you gonna do, right? Oh, okay. I found what Echo was talking about, the zombie. So the flesh eaters and Fulci zombie. That's what it was.
Okay, cool.
So, all right. I forgot about that, how it was spelled different there. Let's see. Hobbs was talking about bonus features also. He wants a signed copy of the stocking. Yeah, I'll get you a copy. So that was the one I worked on with Mark Polonia.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. And also was working with Julie on Cheerleader Camp Elimination. Was that the first time you worked with her?
No, actually, I did the Embalmers with her. I think that was like my 3rd movie. It was a really good experience. We had a really good environment for everybody on set. Like we would always hang out after the day was wrapped, and we watch a lot of movies and stuff. But she played one of the main characters. I just had a very small part that they actually they expanded and made it a bigger character just because they liked me, I guess, which was really cool of them. But that's the first time I worked with her, and she is a very good actress. Like she's a super good actress. And then working with her as a director, I mean, I knew that she would be able to do it. You know what I mean? So that was really fun. I really can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I think it's finished.
It's supposed to show at Slash and Bash, I believe, but I can't make it to that because I'm going to be going to the Philippines in October. So.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
But yeah, I'd like to see the movie, but I guess it's going to be coming out sometime after the film festival, I think. So
yeah, I've been kind of keeping up with the Facebook page that she has for everybody involved. I'm sure you're on there. And like every time she releases something about it, I'm just paying attention, trying to see when it's going to come out. Yeah. But I can't wait to see it. The lead is Mel Heflin, and she is a brilliant actress. She is so expressive with her face, and she's been doing this way longer than I have. I think she's been doing this for like a decade. She's been doing movies, and she's super talented. She can do anything, and she is the kind of person that's talented at so many different things. Like she's done makeup on sets that I've been a part of. She can do anything. Like literally, you build something, you need it built, Mel will do it. Like, you know, and she's so willing to help out everybody on set too. Like she's a brilliant person to work with. Like I love working with Mel. And she's also a really like prolific model as well. Like she's so pretty, and she can like really carry off. Like she can do so many different looks and things. And I don't know, I just find her very inspiring.
Yeah, Bella's awesome. I worked with her on set. I didn't have too many interactions with her except a group scene. But yeah, she's amazing to work with, and to like having her on my show, to actually working with her, it's a great experience.
Yeah, totally cool.
So yeah, I wish I would have saw you there. I came after. I guess you had already done your scenes, and I was already up there after. So I guess you had finished a couple days before or something. But
yeah.
So, what's your character in that one?
Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name right now. Sorry. Really, don't get mad at me. But no, I can't even remember that character's name. But she's like the bitchy girl that's not being very inclusive about the camp and everything. And so of course, you know, like I play a lot of those. But like it was really fun playing that with Mel, you know, because it's like I don't want to be bitchy to Mel. Like she's so cool.
Yeah, she's too nice and cool to be bitchy to. You can't do it.
Exactly. So I really look forward to seeing that. Like I think it's going to be kind of cool.
Yep. Let's see. Another question here. Where did you get the Jupiter for your name?
From Jupiter.
Simple question. There we go.
Yeah. Like there's like different energies from each planet, and I really wanted to embody the energy of Jupiter, which is like just really like manifesting and being like having star power, and just there's a beautiful energy. You can just Google it, just like what are the magical properties of Jupiter, and that's what I was trying to embody. And also like I just really like see myself as like an alien, and so I wanted to have something spacey in my name. So I mean, I figured I was like, I can do whatever I want, right? Like this is my world, and I'm this, you know, center of my own universe, so I can do whatever I want. So I just added it, and I was like, I really like it. Jessa Jupiter sounds really cool, you know. Like I like the way that sounds. And I also changed my stripper name to because I was dancing by Jessa for like ever, and I changed it to Jupiter recently, and I really like that too. It's like fun to say, like whenever people ask me my name.
It's like it's Jupiter. Yeah.
Jupiter.
Speaking of like the universe and aliens and stuff like that, and you played an alien, I was going to ask you if you believe in life on other planets, or have you ever had any UFO sightings or encounters?
Yes. So I don't know what's going on out there in the universe. There's no way to really know, right? Because we're here on Earth. But it'd be really audacious to expect that we're the only life on any planet. Like it wasn't like you know, like we have the perfect like chemistry to create life as far as like water and oxygen and all of that goes. But there's no reason why like other life forms can live off of other properties. You know what I mean? So whether it's been, you know, if there's oxygen and water and all of this stuff like on other planets, it doesn't really matter, because there's things that we don't know about science, and it's totally possible. But when I was 7, I saw something that was like, my mom and I were riding from Indiana to Arizona, where we were moving on a Greyhound. And my mom woke me up in the middle of the night, and all these people were on our side of the bus looking out. And there was like this thing that was going around in the sky, and it was like a light. It was like one single light, but it would zip around, and then it would go really slow and then disappear and then show up over here. And it was totally the craziest thing I've ever seen. And everybody was just like in awe watching it. Like, and it kind of makes sense, because they say there's all those sightings like in New Mexico and those areas like that. I guess it could have been like, you know, they were testing some sort of like new flight type of product or something, you know, because like the Army has like test stuff out there, so it's possible, but like I like to think that it was a UFO.
Yeah, but I've seen some stuff too, and family members had seen them. And I don't know if you saw that TV show Taken years ago. That was on.
I haven't.
Well, if you ever get a chance, maybe look it up. But I mean, I know you're busy. It is a continuing series. But the family, it's a continuous thing where the family's abducted, and then there's like half-bred aliens throughout the generations. And besides that, they do like stick with families, like, you know, seeing UFOs. And it's interesting how they follow. They start with like Roswell all the way to the present day. It's really interesting series.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of it before, and I've heard that I would really like it. So I might have to check it out one of these days.
So any besides aliens and ghosts, ever have any ghost experience or?
Yeah. So whenever I was a kid, the first thing that I experienced is that like it was after my great I think it was my great grandpa had passed away, and I would do this thing. It was my grandmother's father who had passed away, right? And I would do this thing where anytime she'd be on the phone in the middle of the night, she couldn't make me go back to sleep. So I'd just be running around the house, like acting crazy. And then she wouldn't want anybody to know that like her granddaughter's running around the house acting crazy. So she'd do this, like, she'd be like, you know, like on the phone and like trying to get me to like calm the hell down. And so I was like jumping rope with like the cord, like the phone cord. And I was like acting crazy. And then, like she looked really mad all of a sudden, and like I don't know, like it happened to coincide with the death of her father just recently, but it also could have been like some psychic powers or something. But like all of a sudden, all the water turned on, like in the house, like in the sinks, like, and I went to hell to bed. Like I went to bed after that, scared the shit out of me. Like I was like, that was crazy. And then whenever I think it was a junior high, sometimes I was laying in the bed and I was really obsessed with like all kinds of like witchcraft and occult stuff. So I'd put all these things on my nightstand, and during the full moon I'd open the blinds and I'd have like the like moon light come in, and it's charging the items, right, that I had out like to be charged by the moonlight. And when I opened my eyes, there was definitely like moonlight coming in, but like the dust particles like in the air formed a woman kneeling beside my bed. And she stood up and started walking towards me, and I freaked out and I started screaming, and my mom ran there and turned on the light, and then she wasn't there. So, but I definitely saw it. Like it was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was one time at my grandparents' house, and she would do paintings and everything, and I was sleeping, and there was like a man, I don't know if it was I think it was like in a suit, or kind of couldn't really see his face. It was like a shadowy figure, and he just like nodded, and like I don't know, it was weird. And I think my aunt was even saying something like she thought she saw like a shadow or something. I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, no, in that house it was so weird because it wasn't a very old house that we were living in, so there was no, it didn't make sense that it would be haunted or anything like that. But there was a lot of weird things that would happen. Like my mom and my bedrooms were like really close. They were like back to back, and we would hear knocking in the walls in between our bedrooms sometimes. So we slept in the same bed a lot of times because we were freaked out.
Anywhere that you filmed, has there been any like creepy locations where something may have happened, or any weird energy vibes?
There was a Reunion from Hell. I didn't feel like there was anything present, but a lot of my co-stars and stuff, they were so ate up with this house being like haunted. And I actually rented that house again for a photo shoot after shooting there, because it was a really cool house in downtown Louisville where like the mansions are, like in Louisville, Kentucky. And it was a beautiful house, but like I don't think there was anything supernatural going on. But there was some creepy stuff in the basement, and it was like 3 stories. Like it was like you come in on the ground floor, and then there was a floor on top of that, and then a floor on top of that, and a basement. So I don't know, is that 4 stories? I don't know. It was a very big house, but it's very up and down. But that house was older than, I don't know, all get out. So they really thought that like there was all kinds of supernatural stuff going on in there. But like I was like, you guys are just scaring yourself. Like there's nothing going on here. So I didn't feel like there was anything, but they were all obsessed with it.
If you ever had the time, would you like to go visit haunted locations?
Yeah, I think that's kind of fun. I'm not scared of it in a way like their ghost is gonna follow you home or anything like that. I don't think that like it can get like, I mean, anything's possible, but and I don't even know that I believe in ghosts, but I like the idea of ghosts. So I used to do like ghost hunting whenever I was like you know, in high school up through like 21, 22, because like I didn't drink or anything. Like I didn't do like this stuff. Like all my peers were like partying and they were drinking and smoking weed and doing drugs and having that kind of fun. And my lame ass was driving around in the country, like going into old barns and thinking I was seeing ghosts. And I would take like my digital camera and like take pictures of it. And you know, like the orbs and everything, where it's just like, it's just dust particles probably that are catching the light from the flash, but it's still fun. Like a lot, and we would explore like really old graveyards that were like back out of the way that like nobody knew about, like in certain like wooded areas and stuff. Like we would just have people, like our friends would always find that stuff. I think some of them were going out there to smoke weed, you know, but I didn't do anything like that. So they would just like take us there, like, oh, we found this really cool spot, and we'd go check it out, and we'd just freak ourselves out. And it was a lot of fun. So I definitely would do that more. I wouldn't want to do it like on a big scale though, you know, like where they have those like haunted asylums and stuff, those like tours. It's like a ton of people. Like nothing's gonna happen if it's like a big crowd. So I'd want to do it like on a small scale, or like a handful of other people, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like a little limited tour, not too many.
Yeah. I think that, and if you do like the tours in New Orleans too, those are really spooky. Those are really fun.
Yeah, I haven't been to New Orleans, but some of those like voodoo shops or something might be cool to check out. Or
they're super cool, and and you know, the French Quarter in New Orleans is like beautiful. Like it is the most stunning. It's like one of my favorite areas of the country for sure, because there's so many different like influences there, you know, like there's so many like the Creole like influence where it's like African and French, and then you know there's just like it's just Southern too, which is very Southern. There's just a lot going on there, and there's a lot of like history and spooky history too, so it's a really fun place to visit.
I'll have to check out. When you were talking about orbs and everything, I don't know if I have the picture on Facebook or not. I think it was, who was it with? She was in Weird Science, one of the girlfriends. And I think she was also in Friday the 13th part. So, which was it where she got killed? She was laying down. I feel bad. I can't think of her name now. But anyway, I meet so many people. I'm sorry. I'm like a face person too. But anyway, so it looked like there was like a bright, like shine. I don't know if it was just a flash reflecting or not, but it was weird because like just above my stomach or like almost towards my crotch, but a little bit up higher, there's like this weird ball of light. It's weird. It was that spooky Empire. I'm like,
that's super cool.
So I don't know. I mean, like I said, it could just been the flash was weird, but it just seemed weird the way it was like you could tell like a flash, like streak flash and stuff, and it didn't really look like that. So I don't know. But
yeah, so there used to be this place that we used to explore where I grew up, and it was an old tuberculosis hospital that had shut down, and it had burnt down several times, like 3 times. The place had burnt down, and they would just rebuild it, and it was like an old hospital. So we would break in there whenever we were in high school, and we would like explore, and we found like this old printout of like a receipt that still had stuff on it from I don't know when, like it was so old. And so we held it up and we took a picture of it, and then whenever we looked at the pictures later, it looked like it was on fire on the bottom of it.
That's
so I'm sure it was just like a reflection of like it was probably it was very damp in there, and there was a hallway that went from one hospital to the next, and one of them was like a children's ward and one was like for the adults, and you could never get to the other one that was all walled up, like it was all like it was, you couldn't get in there, and you couldn't go through the tunnel either because there's water, and so it was always damp in there, it was always water everywhere. So I'm sure that's what it was, but it was still really interesting.
Yeah. So, and how about the Ouija board? Have you had any weird experience, questions with that?
Yeah, we were playing with that like in 5th grade or something, and
they were probably moving it, you think?
Well, I'm sure it was just our nervous shaking, moving what's it called? I can't think of a planchette. That's what they're called. And we made it, actually. We made it out of cardboard too, which was really funny. And no, we felt like we were really communicating with the dead. It was a lot of fun.
Have you gone to any psychics or had your own psychic experience?
Well, I read tarot and I read palms. So like that's kind of fun. I think that it's totally feasible that our roadmaps to our lives are on our hands, because like I don't know, it just makes sense to me. And I've been reading palms since like around 5th grade. I read a book about it then, and then since then I've like drawn my own conclusions where I see like very similar lines and different kinds of people that have similar traits, and so like I kind of like figured that out. But that's really fun. I've seen psychics before, but I never really get the idea that they're very real. But whenever I read people's palms, people like they always are so surprised that I can see so much stuff that they've experienced in their lives in their hands, which is kind of cool. But no, I haven't had any like extreme psychic experiences with anybody else. You know what I mean? Like that I can really think about.
Is that something you would do at conventions at your table sometime?
I have, but I don't like to do it because I feel like each reading is so different and it can be really draining on you depending on like the kind of life a person has lived. And so like whenever you're getting into trauma and talking about that kind of thing, it can be very draining on you. So like the price point, like I was doing them for like $20, right? Where it's like one person's palm is super easy to read for $20, and you can give them like just like a rundown of where their life has been and where they're going. But somebody that's experienced a lot of trauma or something, like it's worth a lot more money to go into that because you're like you're re-experiencing those traumatic events with them. So it's like I mean I feel like it's like something that if I were to do that, like I've always imagined myself like opening up a little shop or something, because there's like a lady that her name is Madam Faye in Evansville, Indiana, and I've never like gone to her myself, but her and her family have run like a psychic shop since like I don't know, like the 50s or something. And so I always think that's really cute whenever you go to like small towns and they have like the like local psychic that you can go to. So I've always imagined like opening up my own shop, but I would feel like it would be something that I'd have to charge based on the reading and how much energy it took from me. You know what I mean? So I couldn't just be like $20, for the reading. I would have to be like, okay, it starts at $20, and depending on how much we get into conversation, how we're going over things that have happened to you and everything, like I would want to charge more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a place in Florida called Casadega, and they got like all these psychics there, and they'll shut down their part of town on Halloween. Like no one can go in there on Halloween. Like there's some people think they might do rituals or something, but there's like no proof really. They just shut it down.
That's cool. Yeah. That seems so cool.
So I got to go to it one of these days when they're open. But yeah, I'm like they close on Halloween. That's kind of weird. So, and then there's also, I forget where it is, but there's like that devil's chair that if you sit in at midnight or whatever, what was it? Like you see the devil or something evil is supposed to happen if you sit in it. It's in Florida also.
So that's exciting.
Yeah. So I don't know. Would you ever consider sitting in any like supposedly cursed places and see what happens?
I don't know, because I can say I would right now, but if I were like faced with like, oh, you're going to sit in this cursed chair and something awful is going to happen to someone that or something, I would just be like, I'm not going to chance it. I don't want to even invite kind of
it's like, I don't know. It's like, it sort of sounds interesting, but what if it really happens? Like, it's like,
yeah. So cursed objects are kind of scary. I'm not sure that I'd do anything like that.
Well, I'm sure you heard about, what's the doll? Annabelle.
Well,
how it disappeared. Like the real Annabelle, they took it on tour, and then at one stop, there was a house that burned down. Prisoners escaped. Like all this stuff happened in the town where Annabelle was, and then Annabelle literally went missing for a while.
Oh wow.
Yeah. and the Warrens were saying, don't take it out of the glass, don't, don't fuck with Annabelle or else, and then they decided to take him on tour or her on tour. That's
yeah, I don't think I'd want to mess with that.
But yeah, they were saying how like, whenever they picked her up, they had like holy water and they would like just, wash up with holy water and like, yeah, I don't know. So I don't know about Annabelle. That's kind of weird. So let's see. Let's see if there's any other questions. Not as of yet. Let's see. Anything else that you can tell us, or any films or anything you want to shout out or promote right now?
I can't. Whenever people ask me that, like I have so many projects coming up. Like I'm pretty booked until like December. I think I have like projects several projects a month up until December, and then I guess I get a break, but I'll probably end up booking something in December as well. But like I have so many things, it's hard to say like what's what. But you can always go to jessadositall.com. See any projects that are raising money. I put them all in a certain section of my website, and you can go there and just check them out. You can give money to them if you feel like buying something or getting in on a perk or something like that. Like a lot of my supporters really follow that stuff, and they support like every project that I'm on, and I really appreciate it, because the more that like the projects I'm a part of are supported, the more I get hired, you know what I mean? It looks good. So, you can support that way, and you can also see that are coming up that way. But there's a lot of projects that don't do fundraising, which I think is, I always say like, just do it, like even if you don't make that much money, you're still getting the project out there, getting it in front of people's eyes, and it's getting people interested. So even if you only make like a couple $100, it's always good to put it out there. But you can always see what's going on jessadositall.com.
Yeah, that's for sure. Any other, I always ask this, let's see, it's been an hour and 16 minutes. I got to work tomorrow early too. I got to get up at 5. But another question I always ask before we go, we have shared a lot, and I didn't know you were into all that supernatural and energy and all that. But is there anything else fans may not know about you, whether it's another talent or hobby that we might not know about?
Well, I would normally say I read palms, but we've already talked about that. So people are usually surprised whenever I say I do that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I grew up dancing, so I would love to do like a Suspiria type horror where it's like ballet integrated with like a scary story. I think that would be super cool to use that talent. So yeah, I'm a trained dancer. I would love to do more with that. That'd be super awesome.
Kind of like how they did with Swan.
Yeah.
So yeah, or maybe some body horror with the dancing or something or whatever.
Oh yes, because I've had nightmares like about like being like chained to the bar, because like ballet can be very strict and very limiting and very scary, and just the fact that you're destroying your body, really. You're destroying your feet. Your learning point is so bad for the bones in your feet. It's really not that great for you. And a lot of people start kids in point dance way too early when feet are still developing. That's not good. So I've had dreams where like I've been like chained to the bar, and my ballet teacher was trying to point my foot and just like reached into my foot, and like it was disgusting. Like I've had nightmares about like dance and stuff. So like I think that body horror, that would be a great combination to mix those two together.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jay, with you now just telling me about that dream and stuff, I'll tell you later. I don't really want to say it. I just actually got a little bit of idea of a good story. By hearing that, like, shoot, I might have to write an idea there now. But that's
you should.
I'll let you know. Like sometimes we talk about stuff about ideas we had. We're just like, we say all these ideas, someone might take it. So let's just keep our ideas to ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah. All right. I guess unless there's any other questions, anybody can give them a minute. But yeah, it's been great. I've really enjoyed talking to you. Learned a lot of new stuff and enjoyed it. So thanks for taking the time and stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thank you for putting it off an hour. I'm sorry about that. Like my schedule's been so messed up, like in the last I don't know how many months, because like I I'll plan something. I've never had this happen, but like I'll have like a shoot and it goes over or whatever. And I was shooting with like 2 other models and a photographer today, so it was just a lot going on. And they knew I had a podcast too, and like I totally forgot, and they totally forgot. And then when I saw your message, I was like, oh my god!
And then you thought it was early, then you're like, oh wait, hold on. Yeah, so that's
yeah. So.
But like I said, it's amazing all that you do, keeping busy with all your careers there, and getting any time to spend to yourself and family. You keep pretty busy, so yeah, that's incredible to do all that. Like,
thank you.
So I can only hope to be doing some more movies. I've done some, and I want to try to get some more soon. So we'll see. But it's all about, like you say, knowing people, connecting, and Facebook messaging, conventions, all that. That's pretty much how I got involved. So
yeah, just reaching out to your the fellow talent, because like talent, we see auditions and stuff. Like I try to always share auditions, like whether I can have the opportunity, because there's a lot of auditions I miss because I'm not home. So I have an acting coach, and I work with him to do like auditions and such. And so sometimes like I'm so gone, and then whenever the one day that I'm back home or whatever, like he's not available. So like sometimes I can only do auditions like once, like one day out of a month or something. So whether I can like personally participate in the audition or not, like a lot of times I'll just share them like whenever I see them, because I want other people to have like opportunities and everything. And especially, if somebody gets that opportunity and I miss it because like I don't have a chance to audition or something, they might tell me, oh, well, these people are really great to work with. You should totally work with them next time. And then, I've got like an in because like I've shared something and somebody else got an opportunity that I wasn't able to have. So it's always good to just be like free flowing back and forth, like with different opportunities, because like the more you're going to do that, the more people are going to do that with you.
Do you have a representative right now, or agent, or are you just on your own going out there?
I have a manager, but that's not really an agent. Like an agent, like
or manager.
Yeah, and my manager like gets my contracts and everything squared away, and she's really great. And I've been working with her since March, and she saved me a lot of strife because I was trying to do all my own contracts and present them to the directors myself. And some of like the jargon, like you can get really mixed up on it, and like I've had situations where I wrote things wrong and then I didn't get like, well, we remedied it, but like I put like when we wrap I would get paid, and so they read that as when the film wraps, and that's a note for me. Like you have to like pay the other half of what you owe me whenever I wrap. So like now that she does that for me, it's so much better. Like I don't have to worry about it because she's trained at that. She went to school for it, so she's very good. I don't have an agent though. I'm not sure that I would even like an agent, to be honest. Like I would love to have like opportunities that like personally are out of my reach. You know what I mean? Like something that's like just a little bit more this or that, you know what I mean? Like something that like I just don't know about, you know what I mean? That isn't going to come across my radar. That would be cool. But a lot of times like I hear like agents are kind of like a racket. Like, once you're signed on to an agency, like they don't really pay attention to everybody on their roster. They pay attention to like the top 5%. So like you have to even bring them opportunities, and they'll contact the director or whomever's putting together the project on your behalf to get you an audition, whereas you can just do that yourself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And are you thinking of being a member of SAG, or you just prefer to be independent?
Not at this time, because SAG, from what I understand about SAG, and there's so much information that I'm always learning about it, it keeps you from being able to do indie stuff a lot of times, because then they have to make the whole production SAG, which costs a lot of money and is, a lot of hoops to jump through. So if you're SAG, either you have to have them make the whole production SAG, or you have to perform under a different name or something to be able to like surpass what the limitations are. So at this point, no, I don't want to be a part of SAG. But like if I, get on a TV show or something where I'm doing a regular spot, then yes, of course I would do it. And the people that I do know that are a part of SAG, they get residuals from stuff, which is awesome. Like they can have a small part like on a Netflix show, and then every several months they get like a big paycheck in the mail, which is awesome. Like I would love that. But I don't know, I'm pretty happy with what's going on right now.
Right. Yep. So yeah, and we all are as fans too, and wish you the best, and just
Thank you.
just keep on going. So
Thank you.
oh, and Gross Fest. I know we were talking about conventions. I'll go ahead and mention you're going to be at Gross Fest. Is it next month?
Yeah, it's only like a month away. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I was hoping to go to that, but again, money, Philippines, like I don't know. We'll see. But have a good time though, and I guess there weren't any more questions. Just a few viewers. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So thanks again.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
And yeah, you're welcome back anytime, and maybe we'll see each other on set someday.
That would be great. That would be great.
All right. Have a good night, and thanks for everyone who was here. Echo, Patrick, everybody. So thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night.